everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's topic is going to be about a controversial subject that a lot of resellers go back and forth on, and that is stock photos. And it's not bashing stock photos, it's not bashing people who use stock photos, so if you're here for that, bye. That's not gonna fly here. I don't bash people, I don't talk bad about people, that's just not the kind of person that I am, never have been. I'm not involved with the reseller drama, so that's definitely not going to be the topic of this video. So what I do want to say is, technically from a legal standpoint of view, you are not supposed to use company stock photos because that is another company's intellectual property, and you can get in trouble for using their stock photos. I know for a fact that Lululemon on Poshmark does contact Poshmark, and Poshmark will take your Lululemon photos down if there are stock photos involved. So just be wary of that. I do say proceed with caution when it comes to using stock photos. Now, if you're going to use stock photos, the one thing that you have to remember is use the photo of the product that you are actually trying to sell. There are many times when I've clicked on a listing and the first picture was a stock photo, and further on down in the photos, the item was nothing that was portrayed in the listing, and then they'll write in the description, the stock photo isn't of the actual dress, it's an inspired look, or it's a, like an outfit type of thing. And that's really frustrating because it actually happened recently. I've been trying to look for dresses for a particular event that I have coming up, and a lot of the sellers who have stock photos in their listings, they showed this beautiful dress and I was completely drawn to it, but then when I looked at their actual dress in the listing, it was absolutely nothing that they were trying to sell, and it wasn't a kind of cut or color that I would even go for, so I immediately left. And then I ended up not looking at any more photos with stock photos because the few that I was looking at were very misleading. So do not mislead your buyers, because it does you a disservice and it does them a disservice, and it makes you look like a very dishonest seller. And not only that, they can open up a case. Just because you write in the description the dress in the stock photo is not the dress you're going to be getting doesn't mean that they're actually going to pay attention to that description. They can still very well say that you misled them. So save yourself the headache and actually find a photo, if you're going to use a stock photo, of the item that you're going to be selling. Another thing to keep in mind is, don't just use stock photos and not show the actual item. I know a lot of people say that, well, this item is new and it's in a package and it's not open and all that, but the people who are buying things really want to see what they're trying to buy. It's different when you're shopping from a website like Kohl's, just the first thing that came up to my head, because you can see what you're going to get. You won't actually see the actual product until it's in your hand. But if you're shopping from a reselling site like eBay or Poshmark or Mercari or Vinted, they want to see exactly what the seller is trying to sell. And a lot of people are wondering why you're trying to sell it. And if you're only showing nothing but stock photos, again, that's very misleading. So you will definitely lose out on a sale on somebody who just, saw nothing but stock photos. So make sure that you actually include the actual item. Even if you have the item all nice and packaged up and you don't want to open it up because you don't want to ruin the item, put that in the pictures, put that in the listings. That way people can actually see, oh, okay, this is exactly why this person isn't sharing the picture of the actual item. It still might make you lose out on a sale, but at least it doesn't make you look dishonest. Another thing is, you might lose out on sales because you're using stock photos. And I don't mean to sound very negative when it comes to that, but it's very true. There's a lot of people who will not purchase from sellers who use stock photos. And I know plenty of big sellers use stock photos all of the time. And again, I'm not bashing them whatsoever. I'm just stating a fact. Plenty of big resellers use stock photos all the time. And that's great. They have multiple amazing sales, and that's fantastic. That's what we want, right? We want people to succeed. But there are going to be people that say, well, I'll never purchase an item from anybody that uses stock photos. So keep that in mind as well. Another thing is, people might not be sharing your items because you have stock photos. And again, that just comes with the territory. So just be mindful when you're using stock photos of exactly, how to use them. And when you're searching for stock photos, if you have the item in front of you, say right here. So I have this dress, and this dress is a Rachel Zoe dress, and it's a size 8. And look for certain keywords like keyhole back, shift dress, what is this, leopard print, pockets, midi dress, mini dress. Use those keywords when you're looking for stock photos. Some brands like J. Crew, I'm pretty sure Free People has a way to look for stock photos. Madewell, they have the actual tag on the inside will say style number or whatever number, and you'll be able to see that. You'll be able to search for that on Google, and the majority of the time when it comes to J. Crew, you'll be able to see the stock photos of the actual items. So if you're having a hard time finding stock photos, definitely whatever item you have in hand, if it doesn't have a style number, if it doesn't have an identification type of number, look up certain keywords and just keep going and don't get frustrated. Trust the process. Another thing to note is if you are using stock photos and you do have the item for sale, the exact item, and it is exactly what you're trying to sell, make sure that you list any flaws that are in the item, because obviously when you are showing a stock photo, you're showing the perfected item. You're not showing the actual item that you're trying to sell. Just make sure that you make a note like, hey, there's flaws here. This is why I'm selling it. This, that, and the other. Well, you don't have to say why you're selling it. No, there's some people who'll be curious, but just say like the zipper's broken or this, that, and the other. That way people can actually know, and they're not trying to compare your photos to the stock photo. So I hope this helped a little bit when it comes to stock photos. I know it's a very controversial subject, and again, I'm not knocking anybody that uses stock photos. At one point, I actually did try to use stock photos, and it just didn't work out very well for me. It was actually more time consuming than I thought it would be. So to each his own. Let me know down in the comments below if you use stock photos and if you have success with stock photos. Again, there is no right or wrong way to really run this business as long as you're not scamming people out of money and being a dishonest seller. I think we're doing okay. So I hope you guys are having a wonderful fall, and I will talk to you guys next video. Bye.